Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Sudhir Kethamakka. I'm an engineering manager at ERICSSON. We are out of the Piscataway office in New Jersey. Today, we're going to talk about NFV orchestration and management using ERICSSON Cloud Manager. But Harshad, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Harshad Tanna. I'm Chief Architect on ERICSSON Cloud Manager product. Again, working with the same group that Sudhir manages.
So I'll let Harshad is our chief architect. I'll let him talk about the NFV reference architecture first.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Sudhir. So in the panel discussion yesterday, you have probably heard that a lot of telcos are now interested in virtualizing the network services, and this is not very different from what we understand in the enterprise market as virtualization and clouds-based applications, but it has its own peculiar requirement because of the stringent reliability and scalability and performance requirement that are placed on network applications. And as a result, there is an industry group, actually, it's a standardization group in Europe known as ETSI, that has come up with what is known as Network Function Virtualization Reference Architecture. So what I'm planning to do is that I will talk about what that overall architecture is, give you some details on what the new components are introduced in the network architecture because of the virtualization, and then talk about how we can do this, achieve that architecture using OpenStack and a cloud manager-like system that we have built. So with that, let's just get started. So what you see here on the screen is the NFV reference architecture that this industry group has come up with. So this industry group, by the way, it consists of lots of telco operators from around the world, as well as the vendors like ERICSSON who are participating, and this is constantly evolving architecture. So as of now, this is a reference architecture from around July timeframe. Still work under progress, but we are getting very close to the final architecture. So there are principally three parts that you can see here in this architecture, apart from the traditional components of this architecture. So first part is what is known as NFV infrastructure or virtualization infrastructure. This is no different from our standard compute, storage, and network appliances that go into a data center. Then there is a virtual network function or virtualized network functions known as VNF. These are the network applications. You can almost think of them similar to the enterprise applications, but like I said earlier, they have much stringent performance, stability, and scalability requirements. And then there is a whole new aspect of management system, which is known as Management and Orchestration Framework. Somehow it is called out as a MANO, and you will hear, if you look at the standard documentation, it is known as NFV-MANO framework. So today's focus, because the OpenStack and the cloud management system addresses the problem of NFV-MANO part, we will be talking about the NFV-MANO architecture a little bit more detail. Okay, so the first component of NFV-MANO framework is NFV Orchestrator, and it consists of an orchestration element or a functional module, along with a bunch of service description components, and then there is a whole aspect of instance and resource inventory. So what does it provide really? It provides orchestration of network functions that the telcos want to deploy, they will be driven from a VNF and network services catalog definitions. These catalog definitions, you can think of them as no different from the templates that you deploy for using the heat template. But again, because of the characteristics of the network services and in the virtual network functions, they need little bit more than that. And as a result, they are not exactly same as heat templates. Then there is an inventory part I talked about. So there are NFV instance and NFVI resource that need to be kept track of. So that is handled using an inventory function in there, which is represented by NFV instance and NFVI resources module in there. The next layer in this architecture is known as VNF manager level, and it provides the management and orchestration of network function lifecycle, virtualized network function lifecycle. Again, this function, because it is doing the management of lifecycle, it is driven from the catalog definitions. As you will see, a lot of things are driven from the templatized catalogs because the stability of the system is paramount in this kind of environment. So you don't want anybody to play with the network services in arbitrary manner. So telcos really believe that everything has to be driven from catalog. And the VNF manager manages the lifecycle. There are two variations that are defined in the standard. One is known as generic virtualized network function manager, and then there are VNF specific managers. But it's probably too detailed for this discussion today. And the last component is the component that actually handles the virtualized infrastructure management. And this is where OpenStack comes into picture. Just like everything else in the standard enterprise environment, it consists of compute, network, and storage resources. But probably there is a lot more emphasis in this environment on the network resources because all the applications that you see in the telco environment are really intensive on the network resources. So there are some differences, but it is more or less same as the OpenStack environments that we see. So how do we address these requirements that are coming out of this kind of architecture or a framework from this industry group? So our way of addressing, and I think we believe very strongly that this is the right way to do it, is that the virtualization infrastructure management is completely handled using the OpenStack environment. And if you have followed some talks on the past couple of days and the panel discussion yesterday, there is actually an industry group that has been set up, especially to address the requirements that are coming out of this architecture on OpenStack, and it is known as OP-NFV group. It is, again, just like OpenStack, it is an open group, and there are a number of telco providers as well as the vendors who are participating in that group. And just for the orchestration and VNF management part, we have built a Ericsson Cloud Manager system, and I will hand over to Sudhir, who is handling the development of this system, and to talk more about that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Arshad. So, yeah, like you have seen in the picture before, NFV orchestration and management requires two components predominantly. The way we are doing it in Ericsson, we are solving this problem by leveraging some of our existing fulfillment suite for the orchestration and the management, and also the storage of the inventory information. So we have some pretty solid inventory management database, which now keeps track of the wireless and wireline physical inventory, and we enhanced it to make it manage the virtual inventory also. So this has been working great. This is perfectly a solution that our customers are looking for. We are doing a lot of proof of concepts, with major service providers. But there is a question, like, we have a lot of OpenStack components such as Heat, Mistral, etc., also in the management and orchestration domain. So how we are going to solve the problem? I think we are looking at that. We started leveraging some of those aspects and also contributing back to the community. However, there are certain, like Harshad mentioned, there are certain stringent needs in the telco industry that may not be solved by the enterprise solutions. So this is where the knowledge of the VNF itself, or the knowledge of the application itself, may be necessary, and that's where our catalog and the cloud management database solutions come into picture. I think that's,
there is some more detail on the components.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. The catalog it supports the descriptors in the in a format that is you can visualize, and also what we support is open virtualization format. So we kind of support two ways of managing virtual resources in this layer. And our orchestration and the catalog are tightly coupled, and we also provide active monitoring and fault management solutions, which can be used for scalability, scale up, scale down mechanisms. I think we will get more opportunities to talk about this in the future talks.
Yes.
But I think we are pretty close to what the NFV HC group is envisioning for solving this problem in the industry.
Yes.
Thanks for the
Thank you for attending the